Hey, bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, bud?
That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand.
Terence Crawford answered Jaron Ennis' challenge for a fight at the super middleweight division with all his belts and accepted. This was the most surprising reply from Crawford, as he had never before entertained talks of facing Jaron Ennis.
Like I said before, you know, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if, you know, that's the next move for me and my.
While being interviewed during preparations for his upcoming fight, he stated he was willing to move into the super middleweight division if Crawford would give him a title shot, adding that he was ready for 2026. This mirrors the path of Terence Crawford, who went from the welterweight division, had a single fight at 154, then advanced directly to the super middleweight ranks.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
You know, without him, you know, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same, you know.
And I need, so after I do my thing, you know, Saturday night and be victorious, you know, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out, you know, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headline, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Your skill.
Interestingly, Terence Crawford held a victory parade in his hometown of Omaha just hours later. When questioned afterward about Jaron Ennis' statements, he confirmed his openness. Furthermore, he sent a clear message to Jaron Ennis to act accordingly if he wanted the fight badly. If it's at 168, then he should send the contract. I'll do it at 168 for sure. This was backed by Jaron Ennis' promoter, Eddie Hearn, who said it was the best fight in boxing.
That makes a whole lot of sense, and the fight that stylistically would be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis.
I don't think I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both these guys.
Your Skills Matchroom Boxing chief Eddie Hearn mentioned negotiations were underway for Crawford to fight former unified welterweight champion Jaron Ennis, who was preparing for his 154 pounds debut on October 11th against Wismal Lima. Terence Crawford versus Jaron Ennis is, in my view, the best fight in American boxing, Hearn told reporters on Wednesday.
Roller coaster, but you know, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, you know, and you know, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you know, work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith.
For me, Boots is the new version of Crawford. We just need to secure the fights to prove how great he is.
But don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said we never heard nothing else back about it. So right. I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
At Crawford's post-fight press conference, when asked about a possible matchup, the 5-division champion initially dismissed facing Ennis, saying he wouldn't return to junior middleweight. For the fight to progress, Ennis would have to meet at another weight. The issue is that Crawford only wants big money fights, and only a few bouts can deliver that kind of money, Hearn stated. You're dealing with a different caliber in Terence Crawford, a fighter with IQ that's on another level. You need experience and elite schooling to compete with him. That's why I said I like the Boots fight.
Crawford Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, you know, they have.
No doubt. My other question for you is, you know, with this win, everybody's saying Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion. So
Ennis had once been the IBF mandatory challenger at 147 for Crawford before moving to 154 last year to defeat Israel Madrimov for the WBA title. That victory elevated him from interim to full champion by the sanctioning body, and he later became both ring and WBA champion after stopping IA Stenionis in April. While preparing for Lima, Ennis also served as an advanced sparring partner for Alvarez as he got ready for Crawford. Yeah.
Park, South Philly.
Yeah.
All right, so you know they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some change.
I trained.
But the intense training wasn't enough to elevate Alvarez, as the Mexican admitted after the defeat that his body failed him. It was a spectacular performance by Terence Crawford, Hearn said. I feel gutted for Canelo, but I'm pleased Crawford finally has the chance to display his greatness since his resume hasn't truly shown it. Don't get me wrong, he's had solid wins, but he could have beaten far more of the elite fighters of his time. Doing that at 38 is remarkable.
We got a couple more days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight, you dig? If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
We often retire fighters too soon. I think it's a great ending, but I also believe Crawford could drop back down to win a world title at 160, making him a 6-division champion. Canelo Alvarez wanted victory desperately, but Terence Crawford refused to comply. Over 70,000 filled Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and more than 41 million watched on Netflix as Crawford earned a decisive yet close win over Alvarez.
Eye of that caliber?
Yeah, why not? Why not you be able to share the ring with, with Canelo and like I said, being there with a Hall of Famer, legend, and the face of, kind of like the face of boxing, why not?
Among the millions of viewers was Jaron Ennis. The 28-year-old from Philadelphia has repeatedly called out Crawford. He's also drawn comparisons to the future Hall of Famer. Just weeks before Alvarez finished camp, he invited the switch-hitting Ennis. This led to criticism of Jaron Ennis for choosing Canelo over Crawford. Despite remarks from numerous boxing experts, here's how he responded.
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
And it's going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis, and like I said before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into such a big...
When asked about his experience, as training with Canelo marked his second time working outside Philadelphia, he said, "I was just enjoying it in there with Canelo. He's had 67 fights. It was cool sharing the ring with him. I loved the experience, getting away, sparring, fishing, just spending time with my brother and enjoying it. I'm moving up in weight and wanted something new. I really loved it. On whether I enjoyed camp, why not? Sharing the ring with Canelo, a Hall of Famer, a legend, basically the face of boxing, it was great sparring. I had a great time. I loved being in there with Canelo."
He's not me.
Yeah.
As much as a lot of people, say we have similarities and, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, and I'm not him. So.
Tim had said comparison that he's like a Chrysler 300.
Talking about how his sparring sessions with Canelo went viral and how many boxing fans saw the matter, he said, "I already knew it was going to blow up. Once we posted the picture, I thought, this is going everywhere. You could say it makes the fight more exciting. People will try to watch it a little bit more. I honestly don't care about the backlash. I won't lie. I went there for myself, to start my first 2 weeks of camp with elevation and everything. This was for me, not for anyone else. He added,
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true. But if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, emulate Crawford or just
my opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard, James Tony. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
Legendary boxing commentator Teddy Atlas, however, felt the move to bring in Jaron Ennis could work against the Mexican. Atlas believed training with someone like Ennis might drain Alvarez before September 13th.
That I would want too many highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that, 30.
Never! This is crazy, Chester. Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What'd he say, Red?
I said don't get stuck.
No. What'd he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
Preparations were well underway for both fighters, but the attention on Alvarez's camp came from his sparring with Jaron Boots. Canelo's decision was simply about working with an elite fighter so that he would be fully prepared for Crawford. Yet, not everyone supports the move.
I trained twice that day. I was like, I'm gonna just try to stay up and not. The fight before that was...
And Billy Martinez.
I was watching like 1 or 2 rounds of that. They was going at it. So I wanted to falling asleep. I'm like, yo, I can't stay up no longer. I just wanted to fall asleep. But that was a great one for Crawford. Good.
I don't want him leaving it all in the gym. I don't want him going through that kind of war in sparring. I wouldn't put my guy, who's already had 65 fights, in wars. I'd carefully choose spots for Canelo, maybe 1 or 2 days to sharpen him, but only in moments against someone that's sharp. Atlas worried about Alvarez's age catching up. Though Crawford is older, Canelo has far more wear. Sparring Ennis just adds rounds to his body. It will be worth watching if Alvarez shows fatigue on fight night. Even with the extra help, Alvarez had almost no answers as Crawford boxed the entire 12 rounds as a southpaw. Though fighting Crawford remains his main ambition, Ennis had to respect his showing. It was a huge win for Crawford and a great night for boxing. Ennis told YSM Sports Media it was a solid win. He reached a historic milestone. Good win for him. While it was fun being a fan briefly, Ennis is focused on his own career. The former unified welterweight champ recently gave up his ring, WBA, and WBC belts and committed to reclaiming gold at 154 pounds.
Moment following a once-in-a-lifetime fight.
42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap, I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford making his way to the heartland of...
My opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard, James Tony. They my top guys that I've been watching.
Fair enough. Last question on the topic. Is that a fight, because people want to know, is that a fight that you still are interested in? Or you moved on? You moved on from wanting to fight Crawford. Is it still a fight that you have interest in?
My main focus right now is October 11th. That's all I'm worried about. October 11th. I ain't worried about no outsiders. I like that. That's how.
His debut at his new weight will come when he meets Wissam Lima at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on October 11th. With the chance to send a statement and grab a secondary belt too, Ennis is eager for fight night. "I'm feeling great," he said. "It's almost here. I'm ready to put on a show. Expect domination and a beautiful knockout. On the eve of his 38th birthday, Terence "Bud" Crawford wasn't only celebrated, he was honored. A hometown parade brought an estimated 20,000 fans, turning the city streets into a sea of blue and gold with Crawford in the middle of a spectacle few fighters ever get. Sitting on a throne placed on a semi, Crawford lifted his hand to the roaring crowd. Amid the cheers and camera flashes, he later sent out a brief, powerful tweet. Those 6 words gave a clear statement. His roots, his city, and his legacy meant more than just one fight. Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas earlier this month already grabbed headlines, but the homecoming lifted it to another level.
I figured it being so close to the fight too as well. You know, you're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, you know, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank try to make that fight as well. So I was just curious now, like, what do you think of Teofimo as a fighter?
He's a good fighter, you know, good fighter. That's about it.
Nebraskans filled the streets, families came in the thousands, and the celebration had the vibe of a hero's coronation. After all, only a handful in boxing history become undisputed in multiple divisions. Yet beneath the joy was a sense of finality. With Crawford now 38, questions linger on whether the Canelo clash was his last act. In talks, he hinted that the fight was about legacy, not paychecks. Reflecting, Crawford recalled when critics questioned his career choices. It's wild, because when I was at Top Rank, people said, he's broke, he's this, he's that. I was making good money, but I'm like, I don't need boxing. I can retire. You fight because you want to. I fight because I love it.
That's about it?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to add or anything like that.
No. I say he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Okay. You know, Brian Norman Jr. got a knockout win. I know you guys tried to make a fight previously. He had mentioned in a group huddle with us that he just didn't like being cornered in his opinion, when it came to that fight. Just, you know what happened.
100 years from now, they'll remember that kid from Omaha, Nebraska, Bud Crawford. He moved up 2 divisions, actually 3 divisions, and beat Canelo Alvarez. And with conviction, my name will still be mentioned when I'm long gone. That's what a legacy truly means.
That fight, Jaron, just give us your perspective on that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. Like, I just been going to the gym, training, you know, locking in books and things like that, you know, even coloring a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media. I post whatever I got to post.
Crawford's words carry weight. Time will judge if the promise stands. Omaha already seems certain. This was no ordinary parade. It was identity, memory, and expectation combined. His home state had become his amplifier, his city, his co-writer. It's no secret Andis struggles to make 147, which pushed him up to junior middleweight. I think the big question is whether Boots stays at 147. Honestly, Hearn told Boxing Scene, the Stanionis' performance was impressive. The medical numbers weren't as strong, but I think Boots believes he'll be much better at 154. Originally, he wanted to stay at 147 to unify, and now he's done it. It's tough. We like the Teo Lopez fight, but if he remains at 147, it'll be Teofimo Lopez. If not, he'll go to 154. With Brian Norman's fight coming in July in Japan and Barrios facing Pacquiao, there aren't many unifications left. Boots is kind of unique. Of course he's money-driven to some point, but really, he's focused on legacy and willing to push his body to stay at 147 for unifications. The Teo fight is different, but it's big. We'll have to decide soon. Andis brought in a nutritionist to help cut weight more effectively for his clash with Stanionis. On fight night, Andis looked massive compared to Stanionis and dominated him. Still, Hearn admitted making weight was a struggle. It wasn't as bad as the Karen Chikadzian fight. But many pointed out how drained he looked during the week. He wasn't completely shot at weigh-in for Stanionis, not at all. But constantly pulling down to 147 is a massive task. And it's not just can you make the weight, it's can you make it and still perform at your best. I think even in the Stanionis fight, he felt it wasn't his strongest, most powerful version, which is odd because I thought it was outstanding. But at 154, that's what you'll get, an even stronger version. At those weights, you'll see even more power, even though he already has it at 147. And that's all for now. For the best boxing updates, news, events, and highlights, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And remember to turn on notifications to get alerts whenever we drop quality content. Until next time, peace out.